actually. It has 4 Call of the Conclave.
Which is the Watch Wolf, which is basically Watch Wolf on a token.
Right, Watch Wolf. Now, he's really using a lot of guild cards. He has 4 Selesnya Charm, he has 4 Centaur Healer. Interesting about this deck, only 1 Lockstun Smiter. That's been one of the mainstays of the green-white deck we've seen so far, but in this, he only has 1. He decides that the Centaur Healer, the 3 life, is better than +1/+1. 4 Restoration Angel.
Yeah.
To combo with that healer, of course.
He's also splashing blue for 3 Snapcaster Mages and 2 Cyclonic Rifts.
Yeah.
So he has some snapping, and he's snapping a Cloud Shift a lot of the time. So a very interesting deck. Really glad to have it on camera here.
Yeah, I really like Cyclonic Rift in this deck.
Definitely.
The problem with that card in a lot of blue decks is that you can't really put the pressure on to really make that good of use of the bounce spell for 2 mana, but this deck, I would say the majority of the time it'll be 2 mana just to push through more damage.
Now Ryan Forsberg has won the die roll and is elected to keep his 7. Justin Geary is on 6.
Of course, Justin Geary has the full 4 Thrag Tusk to go with his 4 Restoration Angel and 2 Cloud Shift. Other comes into play effects 2 Borderland Ranger, so really he has a deck full of 187 effects that he just wants to reuse as much as possible. One Collective Blessing, which is just the absolute blowout card. It's always nice to have one of those in your deck, especially when your deck has mana acceleration. Collective Blessing, for those unaware, 6 mana enchantment. All your creatures get +3/+3. Certainly pretty huge, though. Not going to be that good in this matchup because Ryan is going to be putting a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
Hopefully for him.
So I would say Ryan, as last time we saw him as the control deck, I think he's the aggro this time. And both players lead on Shocklands into play tapped. Ryan leads on Golgar on the Overgrown Tomb and plays into Lothleth Troll, having both of all his colors represented. Geary started out on a tapped Temple Guard and is now on turn 2 deciding how he wants to respond to the Troll. He can play Sun Petal Grove and make a Watch Wolf, which is Call of the Conclave. Despite the fact that it's bigger than the Troll, he probably can't make a block here.
No, definitely not.
It'd be too easy for Ryan to simply discard a card, pay a mana.
Right, exactly. Trading 1 mana for Justin's 2 mana, growing his Troll permanently, not a good trade.
Technically, this is a Centaur, not a Beast.
Oh,
just for those of you following. It's a Beast token.
We'll make sure that we chastise that judge, don't worry.
Now, we actually have an interesting development. So remember I said it was our certainty on what was going to happen? We actually have an interesting development where the number 3 and 4 seeds, Jack Fogel and Dan Caskey, intentionally drew this last round.
Okay.
So I'll kind of update you on what that means in 1 second here.
So Ryan Forsberg's main phase here. He plays a Cavern, presumably naming Zombie. And there's a Drolf's Messenger. Justin Geary drops down to 14, or 16 rather. 1 hit from the Troll, 1 Drolf's Messenger trigger.
So what they've done here with this draw is actually very interesting. One of the 2 of them will be in top 8. If Scotty Doolittle, so we had a guy in 14th who's being paired up, an X11 being paired up into 13th. By this draw, the guy who's being paired up, Scotty Doolittle, is now dead for top 8. But if he loses his match, one of these 2 guys who drew, probably Dan Caskey, will fall into 9th. He may have drawn himself into 9th.
Wow. So Justin Geary counters the Messenger with a Centaur Healer, goes back up to 19, and provides a 3/3. Swings in for 3 on the attack step.
So Ryan's creatures, let's talk about the quality of creatures which we're seeing against each other.
Yeah, well, Ryan's creatures for now are a little bit better on curve, but as the game goes on, Justin Geary's creatures are going to be way better, going to far outclass Ryan's. He has Thrag Tusks, he has Resto Angels, Snapcasters for added value and trading. Really, I really like Justin Geary's deck in this matchup.
Yeah, I think right now on the current board, Ryan's creatures are stronger, and it really shows.
Definitely, but as the game progresses, I think that they're going to become outclassed.
So what Ryan's able to do, because his creature is so much stronger, is he's able to force a race here.
Right.
Justin can't really reasonably make blocks here, and so he's going to have to race back.
Right. Now, if I'm Justin, I would definitely block the Dread Mangler with the healer. I think he has to stem the bleeding, buy some time for his Thrag Tusks and Restoration Angels to get online. But he doesn't, maybe signifying that he has a Resto in hand.
All right, and Gravecrawler was discarded to pump the Lothleth Troll, just dropping Justin Geary down to 10. Gravecrawler recast out of the yard, turn past Ryan's creatures. I mean, part of me wants to say Ryan's casting rares, whereas Justin's casting commons and uncommons. Ryan's creatures really do a little bit more here.
Yeah, they do. Now, Justin Geary can easily get right back into this game by playing a land and saying go, holding up Restoration Angel.
Yep.
That means if Ryan doesn't have a removal spell, an instant speed removal spell, of which he doesn't have many, Justin Geary can have a profitable combat. But of course, that's all banking on the fact that Justin has a land and has a Restoration Angel. That might not be true.
Right. Wow. 3-mana Borderland Ranger for land.
Another common.
Another common, yeah. That's one thing I know about Geary's deck, because it does have a lot of commons in it, which is great if you're trying to build a deck at home.
Sure. Except for that mana base, of course.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Fair enough.
That said, though, I'm sure these dual lands will be going down pretty soon as more and more are opened.
Absolutely.
So Justin fetches up that Plains. He already has all his colors. He'll just get more white mana, just in case. And I imagine he'll be playing it, saying go. Cloud Shift is actually pretty good right now. Cloud Shift the Centaur healer.
Mm-hmm. It'll be fine. I don't know if, I mean, that's spending a card to gain probably 7 life.
Right.
It's like a hero's reunion. All right, one update. Lauren Nolan up a game over Nicholas Ramsey. Lauren Nolan, I believe we know his deck. Isn't that? Right?
Yeah. That's the Jund deck. That's the Jund, not zombies actually. That's the Wolfear Avenger, Strangleroot dice.
Jund midrange.
Jund midrange, yeah. Not the graveyard deck like Adam Prozacs, but more of a midrange strategy. And yeah, he does Cloud Shift that Centaur healer during his main phase, just to make sure that it doesn't get killed by a removal spell. Now, we know Ryan Forsberg would only have 2 ways in his deck to kill that at instant speed, but Justin doesn't. He could be playing around, anything from Searing Spear to a Brimstone Volley there.
All right, so 9 and 13. Justin's actually doing a great job here of keeping life totals pretty honest. That's going to make things harder. To a pair of Blood Artists. Wow. Now suddenly combat. Now is this lethal?
Combat becomes impossible now.
This is 3. It's 11. I'm not sure I like that swing.
If it's not lethal, it's really close.
Well, but if the swing's not lethal, well, if the swing's okay. The problem is that Geary can't swing back.
Right, because Ryan's going to gain so much life from this attack. Justin's going to be knocked into low single digits, if he can even survive. Let's see if he puts the healer in front.
What Geary? Yeah. So say Geary takes all this and has a pair of Celestia Charms in hand, then Geary will be the winner.
Oh,
he can win with Blood Artist triggers on the stack. The chump blocks of Blood Artist won't do anything.
Right.
I don't think Geary has that. He's putting. The problem is any block here is also miserable.
Yeah, this is really a tough situation. So Justin Geary clearly doesn't have 2 Celestia Charms. He definitely wants to block here. We'll see what he can come up with if he puts the healer in front of the Gravecrawler and the Ranger in front of the Dreadmangler. That'll be 4 Blood Artist triggers. Oh no, instead he's just taking it all.
Yep, and I think I like that. Like I said, I think his Celestia Charms are what he's going for here. He has 4. If he has a pair of them, this will be lethal.
Yeah.
But he actually needs 2.
Yeah, nothing else does it, I don't think. Cyclonic Rift is 7.
Yeah, and doesn't even have, he does have the blue, but yeah, it's double Celestia Charm or probably just or bust here.
Thragtusk, even a Thragtusk, I think with the Blood Artist triggers will probably do it for him.
Yeah, I doubt that's enough life. Yeah, Ryan can just suicide the team. Every block that's miserable. If Thragtusk blocks one of these guys, yeah, he's gonna cast Thragtusk, not enough. So now the question is, Justin goes up to 7, but now he's going to count it out. It's not there. Yeah, he still can't survive Ryan's next attack.
Right. He's lining up an attack here? Is that what's going on?
Yeah.
I don't see how that could be profitable.
I don't see how this ends well. Well, I mean, if he attacks, Ryan will just take.
Right.
So, yep. Complicated boards. Complicated in some ways, not complicated in other ways. Every creature that dies.
Justin Geary just trying to find any way to stay alive here.
He's going to pass the turn back, but that doesn't do it.
Yeah, I mean, judging from...
The problem is every block he makes a creature trade.
Right.
And trades deal 4 to him.
Yeah. More than taking it.
Yeah, it's even trading's worse than taking it. So essentially, it's like his creatures can't block.
Right. I mean, he can put a Borderland Ranger in front of a 3/3 and a 3/3 in front of a Gravecrawler, but that doesn't help him for the
No,
other
he still
three.
takes 4. Every attacker will deal at least 2 because something will die.
Right, at least 2.
And there's 4 attackers.
Yeah.
So 4 times 2 is 8. That's too much.
Are you a math teacher
Wow.
or something?
Oh, God.
Ryan Forsberg looks like he's tanking on this.
Shove it in.
Maybe we're missing
Just
something here.
turn them all sideways.
Oh, yes, he has a Drolf's Messenger in hand, too.
Oh, just another one.
Just in case. Yeah, Ryan Forsberg in the tank. Not sure why here.
Probably just, I mean, you might be thinking of what he'd have to play around.
If there are any free spells in Return to Ravnica, anything like that.
Slitherheads. I think it's the only free spell.
Yeah, that guy doesn't do anything.
All right, there we go. We found the play. And that should be enough to scoop it up.
Justin Geary will try and find some blocks here. I don't think he's going to find any, though.
No, kind of said before, no matter. It's 4 attackers and each will deal 2. I don't think Justin may not realize it, so he's going to go. He'll find out soon enough.
Maybe he has a Shining Shoal in his hand.
There's a divine deflections in the format.
Yeah, it is. Not a free
but
spell, though.
But you can't pitch divine deflection, just Shining Shoal.
You can just go over and tell him he's dead if you want.
Just get up over. Excuse me, sir. What was that? You should scoop now.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Just walk away.
Go to game 2, man. Save your brain cells. Save them. That is the face of a man who has no good blocks.
No, and part of him knows it.
Do you think the judge is imitating his position, or he's imitating the judge's position there? Oh, there we go. That's the scoop. Justin packs it in. He'll be on the play for game 2, though. Hopefully won't have to face down such a blistering draw from Ryan. Looking at the sideboards, though,
All right.
we'll see what we have. Justin Geary in a sideboard. He has Sundering Growth, he has Detention Sphere, he has Primal Hunter, 1x, 4 Geist of St. Traft, 2 Increasing Savagery. That's clearly a package there. What else? We have 2 Rootborn Defense, 1 Purify the Grave, and 1... What is that?
That is a negate.
Oh, that
It's
doesn't
a very
look
sloppily written negate.
at all like that word. Okay, so Justin Geary...
When you teach enough, you get very familiar with really bad handwriting.
Nice. See, I'm really familiar with really bad handwriting from myself.
From yourself, right.
But that's it. So Justin Geary doesn't have a heck of a lot to bring in. He'll probably bring in the Detention Sphere because, removal's always good. Might bring in Rootborn Defenses to have a favorable trade. But really, that's all he has besides 1 Purify the Grave. He has 4 cards at the outside.
Yeah, and I don't even know if I like the Purify the Grave. I mean, did none of Ryan's creatures actually hit the graveyard that game?
Right, exactly.
Well, there was.
marginal
I
at
mean,
best.
he discarded a lot. He did a trick with Lotless Troll, but I don't even think Justin. The problem is holding up a mana to get that play is very. You don't have time to do it.
Right. He used every single mana every turn from turn 2 onward.
Right. So in that sense, Justin's deck is pretty much, I think, sticking with his main, with its 75. And
Yeah.
the matchup does feel a little rough for him.
Yeah, I think being on the play will help a lot. If he draws an Avacyn's Pilgrim, that'll help a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan, though, has a lot of good cards in his deck that we didn't even see. Cards that would have been real big blowouts, like Bonfire.
I think Flames of the Firebrand is the first thing he goes for.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Flames of the Firebrand. Rakdos Charm, probably kind of marginal. Didn't see any artifacts. Probably not going to bring that one in. Golgari Charm, for sure. That's a great card in this matchup. Quite a few X1s.
Yeah, Golgari Charm and the 1 extra Flames are both pretty good here. The Golgari Charm, actually against a green-white deck, regenerating your team can be disgusting
That's
in this
good
matchup.
too, yeah.
I mean, think about that last play. Say in that last game, Justin's board was actually the stronger board, and Ryan simply held back his team and said go with a Golgari Charm in hand. How good would have that been?
Right. It would have been amazing. Would have been a blowout. So that'll definitely
Right.
come in. 1 Bonfire, 1 extra Bonfire for sure. He'll have 2
Yeah.
in his deck after board.
Well, it's interesting. I actually find Bonfire kind of interesting in this matchup because if it's not Miracled, I think it's a bad card.
Oh, it is, yeah.
So I'm not convinced I like it.
Really?
Well, I just don't know if I think I'd rather have Flames.
Well, yeah, but he only has 1 of each. Though.
Right, so then the question, would you want both? And I don't think so. I don't know. Maybe that's a bolder statement, but I think drawing one's terrible.
I can definitely see an argument for me. Bonfire in the Zombies deck is a lot worse than Bonfire in the deck with Mana Accelerants. And as we saw, that game went really quickly. There was very little interaction.
It's more like, when you're playing a card like Bonfire, I ask myself two questions. One, is the game going, like, how many games will the turn be? Because that affects how often I'll Miracle one. And so if I'm playing, a control deck, I like it. Because, I'll Miracle. I love drawing a card every turn, just knowing, eventually I'm going to Miracle something at you. It's great.
Right.
So maybe, but if that doesn't happen, then I have to ask, what will I cast this for? And how well, the Zombies deck is 1, maybe 2.
Right. I mean, when the Bonfire is
3.
No, never 3. It's like when the Bonfire is only good when it's in a small subsection of the deck, the 11th, 12th, and 13th card down. Maybe that's not so good.
Well, the thing is, like, a 1 or 2 damage Bonfire is unappealing to me in this game.
Yeah, it has to be for 3. 3 is the magic number.
But I don't think he can do that. That's 7 lands. That's not... We've been watching Zombies all day, and right, but we've been watching Zombies all day, and actually, I'm going to take that point even farther. I have not seen a single Zombies deck get to 7 lands all day, and in fact, 4 lands during your upkeep is turn 5, and I'm not even sure that's fast enough.
So would you side out the Bonfire in his main deck?
I think, yeah. I guess that sounds weird, but I think I would.
So would you cut the Bonfire from the deck entirely?
Yes.
Wow, okay.
Yes. I would absolutely cut Bonfires from the deck. I think I kind of outlined the reason why I don't think I like it in Zombies.
Wow.
I'd love to talk to someone like Ryan and ask him, how was Bonfire for you today?
I have a screenshot to show you of last round of a really good Bonfire.
Was it out of Zombies?
It was.
Okay, so maybe, all right.
But that said, I definitely see your point. I think you might be right. I don't know. That game was really, really quick. Very little blocking actually happened.
But that seems to be a lot like this. The format, I don't see much blocking happening in this format, or at least not today. Our pillars have been zombie aggro, green-white aggro, and control. So Ryan this time is gonna, being a gentleman and returning the favor of the mulligan. So Ryan's
nice of him.
Yeah, well, I mean, Justin on the draw decided to play 6 last round. So
good guy Ryan mulls to 6. I like it.
Yeah.
You just got to get a cigarette in his mouth, and he could be an internet meme. So with Justin Geary on the play, his opponent on 6, do you like his chances this game?
I like them more. I think this is... I think this matchup's in Ryan's favor. But this game, I think... I'll give this game as close to being a coin flip here. It really depends on how, what Ryan can draw.
Right. Those Blood Artists were just so good, and also, the thing about them in this matchup is that Justin Geary can't really remove them. He can, he has no way to remove them in his deck except 1 detention sphere in the sideboard. So that's going to be a huge problem card for him.
If Ryan can land enough Blood Artists, I think it's the second one. The second Blood Artist seems pretty unbeatable.
Right. 2 is almost unbeatable. 1 if the game goes long. Wow, so we just
our first result in, Todd Anderson defeats Andrew Shrout.
Wow, so
Todd Anderson in our top 8. He's playing the 3-color Miracles deck that we've seen from most of the Roanoke team. So
Andrew Shrout started 7-0, went 0-1 or went 0-2 in the last 2 rounds to miss top 8. It's never a good feeling.
Yeah.
Happened to me a few times, and you just want to leave the tournament hall when it does. Wow, so Ryan Forsberg going to 5 here. And that'll swing things in Justin Geary's favor.
Yeah, we're seeing an unfortunate amount of mulls to 5 on camera today.
Yeah. 1 to 4, multiples to 5. But if Justin Geary had a Restoration Angel that game, it would have gone a lot differently. Blink my Centaur Healer, block, trade, eat a creature, and all of a sudden he's winning that game. So I really think it depends a lot on Resto Angel. It's just a huge card in this matchup. Just a 3/4 flash. It would be great as just a 3/4 flash for 4 flyer.
Yeah.
Here we go. Here are the 5 from Ryan.
There's a 5 from Ryan that's keepable. Like I said, if Ryan gets a high enough velocity 5, especially because he's on the draw, he still can win on a 5 here.
I see a Flames of Firebrand in his hand. So.
That is one way to recoup card advantage.
Oh, yeah. So both with dual lands coming into play tapped, no 2 life. Justin Geary with the Dissension Duel. says go. Wow, no 2-drop. Makes me wonder what kind of hand he kept here.
I mean, I would expect, looking at that, to see heavy hitters coming every turn from 3 on.
Right. I imagine.
And good ones, too.
Right. I imagine his curve should go Centaur, Healer, Restoration Angel, Thragtusk here. But we'll see what he has in store for us. Ryan Forsberg does not have a great start here. Only turn 2 Blood Artist.
And turn 3 Smiter.
Smiter, that's good too. And we have another update for you. Lauren Nolan.
2-0 defeats Nicholas Ramsey. So Lauren Nolan with his Jund mid-range deck, Invitational Champion, another spot in the top 8.
Yep.
So far, quite a few strong players in top 8 here. Centaur Healer will come up from Justin Geary. He another good 3-drop from him as he smashes in with the Smiter. We find that Forsberg did side in the Deathrite Shaman.
So this is almost opposite of last game. Last game, Ryan Forsberg's creatures way outclassed Justin Gary's, but right now, Justin Gary's 7 power to Ryan's 1 power. And Cravecrawler can't block.
I'm not sure how much I actually like Deathrite Shaman in this matchup.
No, it's not great. How many cards actually went to the graveyard last game?
Right.
Very few.
Swing, all right, and he's dropping.
Wow,
he's threatening for. I will still say Gavoni Township. Gavony Township, sure.
I don't know if there are any pronunciation rules for words that aren't real.
Sure.
I think you're in the clear. But Justin just says, take 7. And he might have a Thragtusk here. If he does, it's
another Centaur.
It's a Healer. Almost as good right now.
And representing possible Celestia Charm.
And Ryan Forsberg, Tragic Slip, that's a start.
Yeah, he doesn't have any more lands still, and I think that's going to get him this game too.
Yeah. He'll be forced to chump block this turn. Post-combat, he'll be able to Tragic Slip, but that's not going to do a heck of a lot for him, as he will be dropping to at least 4 life.
I think the bigger problem is the 24 next to Justin's name over there.
That is not good.
Swings the team. And Ryan, I don't think can even race just the Township.
Probably not. Ryan can't race 1 Centaur Healer, let alone more than 2 of them.
And he's going to chump 2 of them. See, out of necessity, he's going to have to block 2.
Yep,
taking 3, he goes down, going to go up to 5. So taking 3, going down to 6, going down to 4, up to 6.
6 life versus 10 power. Not a great deal. Borderland Ranger for Justin Geary just adds another body. He'll search up a land. And I believe that's all he has. End of turn, Ryan Forsberg will kill the Smiter, but still be in a deep hole. At 6 life, though, he has a little wiggle room. He has 1 more turn if he can kill a creature.
Tragic Slip. He shouldn't be able to, let's see, draws. Finds his 3rd land, it's a swamp. Not much play, though.
No, I mean, he can Flames of the Firebrand the Healer, but I think at this point I would just assume not even show that to Justin.
Right.
Because you're going to 1 versus 2 creatures.
You can't beat the Township. And the township by itself is too much.
Right. Yeah, I would scoop. I wouldn't even show him that card, because if you show him that card, he might play around it in later games. So Healer down. Ryan can just ship the turn. And yeah, there he goes. There's the concession.
All right, so going on to game 3, as we really have done a lot today on camera, we've really gotten you your magic work and going to plenty of game 3s.
Yeah, almost no 2-0s. Very, very few.
Very few.
So Ryan Forsberg on the left versus Justin Geary on the right. If you are just joining us, I'm Zach Hall. He's Matthias Hunt, and we are coming to you live from Star City Games Open in Cincinnati. This is the last round. These 2 gentlemen are playing for top 8. Only 1 can get in, though. The other will be knocked to a respectable top 16. If the tiebreakers are
maybe probably lower,
maybe.
actually.
Wow, that's tough.
Yeah. It's no guarantee. It's almost certainly low. That's one of the brutal parts about losing win-ins.
Yeah.
The standings are not kind.
Not unless your tiebreaks are very, very good, and unfortunately for these two, they're not that great. So this is a really high-pressure match here. Both looking at their sideboards again. They really don't want to miss something. They want to make sure their decks are optimized for this game on the play versus on the draw.
Right.
Justin's Blue Splash for both Snapcaster Mage and Cyclonic Rift, neither one of which we've really seen a lot of this match.
No, and I don't even know, the more I think about it, like, I'm not sure how much time he has for Snapcaster Mage.
Yeah, you know, I think the Snapcaster is a pretty easy board out. Cyclonic Rift, though, I would definitely keep in.
Well,
even
part
as
of
a
me
boomerang.
wants to, yeah, just for that. Well, you can't hit a land with it.
Right.
So
you can hit that brutal Geralf's Messenger, though, and especially if you're beating down, bouncing a creature that comes into play tapped is really good.
sure. I mean, more so he doesn't have enough of a sideboard, I think, to really decide them all out, so he's
Right.
got to stick with that plan.
Right. So here we see the players shuffling up. It doesn't look like they really made a heck of a lot of changes.
No.
And really, neither one of them has a lot of great cards. Ryan has a few better cards in his deck.
Well, I'm still wondering about whether Ryan still believes the Deathrite Shaman should be going in here. I was
Interesting,
really
yeah.
unimpressed with it. I probably wouldn't have put it in the first place, and after seeing it in action that game, I wonder whether Ryan has come to the same conclusion.
Yeah, it's really interesting because he doesn't seem like he has very many cards to board out, which makes me wonder what he really boarded out.
Well,
Maybe
he does have one in the main, and maybe he just didn't change that.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. But I mean, really, all the cards are pretty good against Justin. I mean, you could make an argument for siding out the Bloodthrone Vampire. You could make an argument for siding out the Diregraph Ghoul as it's quickly outclassed. And actually, I think I like that because 4 Call of the Conclave, 4 Centaur Healer is really pretty brutal on a Diregraph Ghoul.
Right, Diregraph Ghoul pretty weak here. It's a good C to possibly side that out. It's a card that lots of people, I mean, it wins you. It's so good in so many matchups that it's really hard, you know, to tell yourself, oh, I have to side it out now.
Exactly. You know, it's sort of like siding out a Goblin Guide. Like, you tell people to side out Goblin Guide, and their eyes go wide. They're like, no way, I will not side out Goblin Guide.
That's the best card in my deck.
Right.
Yeah,
Well, yeah.
but they're playing 2/3s for 1. You're wondering.
Exactly. It's going to draw them 2 cards and be irrelevant later. So these players, very serious. They know what's at stake here. Doesn't look like much table chat.
Nope, not too much. Mostly business.
The judge and our coverage runner, though, look like they're having a pretty good time. They're chatting it up.
Yeah.
Neither one seems to really grasp the gravity of the situation. They're playing a win and in. Top 8. Justin Geary looks like he has a little bit of his confidence back after that last game. Still the game face, though. And Ryan will be on the play.
All right. Hopefully both keep 7s. Love to see a battle here. Things look good for Ryan.
Yep, see some land there.
Maybe too much of it, but probably still a keep.
Yeah, that's sort of what I like about this zombie deck.
He's putting it back.
Wow.
Maybe there was too much land in there. I didn't get a count on how much there was, but...
Yeah, and that's got to be painful for Ryan.
Well, Justin's going to follow him there.
That's good.
So.
Ryan
Battle of
Forsberg taking his
sixes.
3rd mulligan in 3 games after winning the first on 7. We'll see if they can actually keep some hands here. But like, you know, I think I'm going to go with the opposite prediction of yours. You like Ryan Forsberg in this match? I think I like Justin Geary in this match. I think that his creatures are just too big to deal with for Ryan.
They certainly do outclass Jen's creatures. It depends. It depends on part of his deck he does.
Right. Exactly. That's the tough part. Turn 2 Call of the Conclave blanks all of the 1-drops from Ryan. Does not blank Walleth Troll.
Well, it kind of does.
Kind of does. Not.
The thing about the troll, while it's really hard to kill, it's also not very good at dealing damage.
Right.
It's still a 2/1 for 2.
Right. And, you know, if you have a Gravecrawler, sure, it's a 3/2. If you don't have a Gravecrawler, there really aren't many creatures you want to pitch to it.
Right.
Like, sure, you can pitch a Dread Mangler, a Dreg Mangler rather, make it a 6 power on turn 3, but that's just going to get chump blocked all day.
Well, it has trampled.
Sure. I suppose that's really relevant.
Yeah, but
suppose after watching the card all day, I should remember that it is trample, but I don't think that's even come up once.
No, and that's a good point that it hasn't come up, because that's still, that play of, scavenging Drag Mangler is, it's a lot of mana for the deck.
Yeah, it is. I mean, 3 mana on turn 3, it sounds pretty trivial, but for a deck that only plays 21 land like a lot of these zombie decks do, that's tough.
So we have a 6-on-6 here.
Yep, both shuffling each other's decks.
I like that Ryan has opted to do the island, the blue mana sleeves for his Jund deck.
Oh, yeah.
So, bait and switch.
Gotta be tricky.
See, I'm the person that if I put blue sleeves on my deck, I'll be playing mono blue.
Nice. I mean,
Like,
really,
nah.
it's not really a tell, because I think more people than not put blue sleeves on their Jund deck rather than put blue sleeves on their blue deck.
Right, so it's really hard. You have to figure out what the person's personality is.
There you go. For that marginal mulligan advantage.
Yeah. Looks like there's lands and spells in Ryan's hand, so
Yep.
he's gonna keep.
He keeps pretty quickly. Must be a pretty decent hand. Justin. So you're thinking about his a little more. Hard to tell, though.
He's also keeping. All right, so we have a game. Turn 1, Swamp into Diagraph Goal by Ryan Forsberg. Passes it back to Justin. He's going to. He has just Glacial Fortress tapped into play. It's a little dangerous. Kind of makes me think he doesn't have too many other lands.
Right.
Tomb, Loft Left Troll,
Wow.
shocking himself, 18's all. That's a start, and if
Yeah.
Justin's deck is unkind to him, then that can be enough. It looks like Justin does have other lands. Looks like he has a basic forest and a basic island. So
Forest, now he would love a Call of the Conclave right here.
he's gonna
Wow,
pass
he
the
just
turn.
says go.
Well, it
Man.
looks like he kept lands, but maybe not a great curve.
Right.
Centaur Healers can get him back into this, but he's going to go drop down to 14 life here off the swing from the Diagraph Pool and Left Troll.
And that is not a great position to be in. Wow, but Ryan Forsberg.
He's going to Cyclonic Rift the Diagraph.
Okay. Okay. Interesting. Why the Diagraph Pool, you think?
I'm not sure. It should be the Troll.
Yeah, I think so. Now, this is really going to come back to bite him if Ryan can go 1-drop, 2-drop here.
Right.
We'll see what he has.
He has Blood Crypt into play tapped and Diagraph.
Yep, so it turns
Comes
out
into play tapped. Turns
it
out
doesn't
to
really
not
matter.
matter.
Definitely the wrong play, though. We'll see what he has for turn 3. Ooh, he draws a healer.
Centaur Healer should be very good here. Like I said, it can't block Loftef Troll, but that's not the point.
I think this game it actually can block it because Ryan didn't have a 2-drop, he didn't have a 1-drop, and he's on 6 cards.
But you wouldn't want it to. You wouldn't want to risk it. Besides, so the penalty for not blocking is you're taking 2 a turn from this Goblin Piker. Like, that's fine. You have a 3/3, you know.
Sure. I don't know. I think if I'm Justin, I block here.
That can't be right.
Because Ryan would have played any 2-drop, any 1-drop he had, and
You actually
he's
think
not
Ryan
gonna
has
pitch
no...
a-
See, Ryan did have a... It's hard to say that Ryan has no creatures. Ryan has to tap out for Aristocrat, so it's kind of moot because he's deciding not to hold up the mana. 2 cards in hand.
Justin going to make sure which way gets the indestructibility, which one gets the counter. Ooh, and there's a Snapcaster. So Snapcaster will be able to flash back the Cyclonic Rift if it has to.
If he'll need another blue mana to do that.
Yep.
Right now, but yes.
Basic
Which he does. He has
in
an
hand.
island in his hand, so absolutely.
So Justin with a full grip. Hard to tell what he has in the hand right now.
Looks
Playing
like Justin might be able to pull through this.
And ooh, it looks like Justin's getting aggressive. Healer is bashing in. And this will certainly drop
Yeah,
Ryan to 15.
yeah, Ryan has to take it. There's not really another option.
And if Justin says go, Ryan is
That's
not
right.
in a great spot.
It means Restoration Angel.
Yep. And yeah,
Which he
there
does
it is.
have.
His hand is pretty good, actually. He has a Detention Sphere,
Now,
a Healer, and an Angel.
If you're going to Resto Angel, wouldn't you just main phase it? Detention Sphere comes down. I don't very much understand that play.
No, I think if his plan was to sphere the Aristocrat, I would have rather left the Healer back.
Yeah. The later the game goes, the better it is for Justin. I would have opted not to race if I was going to play in Oblivion.
For sure. But
Ryan's hand actually looks to be more land. So he's going to take with the Falcon Wrath Aristocrat. Remember, Ryan, if he has boarded in Golgari Charms, can get the Aristocrat back.
yeah. It does seem strange for a mostly black deck to be able to do that, but
Right.
it's the beauty of that charm.
Swing for 4 from Forsberg drops Justin Geary down to 11. And Grolf's Messenger to 9.
Wow. So all of a sudden, Justin might be regretting that. See, if he had held the healer back, the Lawless Troll wouldn't have even been able to attack because Ryan would have had no creatures in hand.
Right.
He's still in a good position though, Justin, because if he just says go, that Restoration Angel will rip apart a combat step.
And I really, well, if he's in a Resto Angel main phase here, it's fine. If he's committing to the Restoration Angel play, which I think main phase doing it.
Very good, Justin. I like the main phase a lot. Even though Ryan has a land in hand, Justin doesn't know that. Definitely the right play.
So 12-12 become life totals. Ryan looking to have 2 more land. I think maybe he has a spell there. If he can get rid of Restoration Angel, he'll probably do it.
Looks like land, and what is that card? Is that a bonfire?
No,
land cavern.
Yep.
So Ryan Forsberg, Mana Screw game 2, Mana Flood game 3. Certainly on the back foot here.
He said, yep, he's going to swing the team. That's a lot of, what he's representing is Golgari Charm. Golgari Charm would be very strong for him right here. Yeah. I think you're Justin, you almost have to call him on it. Well, maybe you don't have to call him completely on it. You can just go for half the call.
Even if he has, oh man, that's a tough block if he has the charm. There we go.
That's a good block.
Yeah.
Regen.
I like that block a lot. He'll eat the Diregraph. Justin Geary will drop to 9. What he doesn't know,
is that
it
is a
was a bonfire.
Bonfire for 2 post-combat. Really strong from Ryan.
Wow. So all the creatures die. Justin goes down to 7. Did he have that in hand? He must have.
He must have. If he miracled it, I think he would have miracled it. If he'd have drawn it,
I think so.
we would have known.
Could have sworn his hand was land. So now Justin Geary in a bit of trouble. He has a Centaur healer though. That's going to buy him a good amount of time.
Now he's going to have to wait. The Grolf's Messenger is much more of a problem right now. Justin comes back up to 10, and Absence Pilgrim.
Okay. Absence Pilgrim, a nice trump blocker.
Yeah. At this point, now if Ryan does draw a creature, he may even pitch creature to troll.
Yeah. Just to let that troll bash through the healer.
Yeah.
Definitely depends on what creature it is. It's a Gravecrawler, Ghoul.
It's really anything. If it's really anything other than an Aristocrat or Messenger, he'll do it.
Dragmangler would be a really good draw here. Wow. That'd be game over, probably.
Yeah, Ryan, that bonfire, post-combat bonfire, really, I think, puts him ahead.
Yeah. And, it's really hard for Justin to play around that. I think he has to block with both of his creatures.
So perhaps I'm proven wrong on bonfire here, clearly. That's great in the Zombies deck.
So Ryan Forsberg, any creature here will put him way ahead. Let's see what this is. Blood Artist? Oh, wow. Golgari Charm. Killed the Tension Sphere. Get back Aristocrat.
Wow.
That's a ton of damage.
Especially, it's ability. So that's 4. That's almost lethal.
Wow. And
it's going to swing the team. Absolutely. Trade the Messenger with the Centaur Healer.
Yep, gotta do it. Not happy about it. Have to do it.
Oh, sorry, that was actually not Golgari Charm. That was Abrupt Decay.
Oh,
but,
okay.
Same effect. Same effect.
My bad.
Yep. Same mana cost. Same result.
Yep.
So taking 7, Justin Geary will drop to 3, and is virtually dropping to 1.
Right. He's at effectively 1 life. And what does he need here? Restoration Angel would be huge. Thragtusk would be
huge. I'm not even sure good enough. Thragtusk is a good drop, but he's going to need to run a lot of things to stay alive.
Yeah. So Selesnya aggro, Justin Geary on the right. is on potentially his last turn. Ryan Forsberg looking to lock up top 8 with a great draw of Abrupt Decay. He's drawn out of his mana flood pretty nicely here. Can't see what Justin Geary has in his hand. I think it has to be Thragtusk or Resto Angel. He could maybe have a Snapcaster for Cyclonic Rift. That might do it.
That means end step going to make his guy into a 4/3, putting Justin Geary at 1.
Okay.
I don't know if I need it. I don't like that.
No, I don't like that either.
It's fine. I mean, he's in a very commanding position, but that damage will happen. You don't have to make it happen. Now it can actually trade.
Oh, I see why you did that.
Oh, because he had another messenger on top of his deck, clearly.
And Justin says, okay.
You're dead. 2 Snapcasters.
2 Snapcasters. Wow. Okay.
And Ryan Forsberg, Jund Zombies advances into the top 8.
Congratulations to him. Justin Geary, unfortunately, is the victim of a brutal bonfire with a few opponents this weekend. So our top 8 is shaping up. How many people do we know?
We know
right now?
5 of the names. It's Christopher Weidinger. He's playing Frights. Joe Bernal on Black Red Zombies. Almost certainly Jack Fogel, who's playing Bant Control. Ryan Forsberg, we just saw here with Jund Zombies. Todd Anderson with 3-Color Miracles. Lauren Nolan, Jund Midrange. We're still waiting on the results of possible people between Brad Nelson